For the longest time in Saudi Arabia, the power clubs have been packed with men, but while the spotlight usually shines on the guys holding the microphones and the billion-dollar contracts, what if the real power was sitting quietly behind a gold-embroidered veil? Because some of the richest, most powerful women in Saudi Arabia run empires, and at the top of that very exclusive list is a woman you've probably never seen in an interview, Fada bint Fala al-Hithlain. You won't find her on Forbes or Instagram, but she might just have more access to wealth than you can ever imagine. She's been called the billionaire queen, but is that just a flashy internet title? Or is it frighteningly accurate? How much wealth exactly does she have access to? Now, let's pull back the curtain and find out. In the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, far from the marble floors of Riyadh's royal palaces, Queen Fada's story begins in the deserts of Najd, home to the powerful Ajman tribe. The Bedouin lineage is known for its deep cultural roots, tribal pride, and influence dating back centuries. And while the Ajman tribe was always respected, they weren't exactly the face of royal wealth. At least, not until Fada came into the picture. Fada bint Fala al-Hithlain didn't grow up as a princess. Her early life remains a mystery cloaked in silence, deliberately shielded from media and public curiosity. But her path to royalty wasn't handed to her on a silver platter. It was earned. Her marriage to King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud in 1984 marked a turning point not just for her, but for the entire royal family. At the time, King Salman was the powerful governor of Riyadh and a central figure in the Saudi monarchy. Marrying Fada was more strategic than it was romantic. It was a union of tradition and power, a bridge between tribal authority and royal dominance. But what truly elevated Fada's status wasn't just her marriage, it was her children, and in particular, one son, Mohammed bin Salman, the man the world now knows as MBS, the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia and the face of its sweeping reforms and controversial decisions. Apart from being the third wife of King Salman, Fada is the mother of the future king. In the House of Saud, that detail changes everything. While the Saudi royal family has historically kept its queens in the background, Fada's role appears to break the mold. Insiders say that she holds considerable sway behind the scenes, especially over her son, MBS. Some reports suggest she has influenced key appointments, political decisions, and even royal disputes. Though no official records confirm her political hand, the circumstantial power she holds is unmistakable. While Queen Fada rarely appears in the media, her position as the mother of the crown prince Mohammed bin Salman gives her a unique level of privilege and proximity to power that few women, anywhere in the world, can claim. She is known to live a life of exceptional wealth and privacy. Though she doesn't hold any formal title beyond being King Salman's wife, her role as al-Walid elevates her status in royal circles. In the Saudi monarchy, lineage means influence, and Fada's position as the mother of the future king places her in the inner sanctum of royal affairs. Queen Fada reportedly splits her time between multiple royal residences, including the Al-Yamama Palace in Riyadh, which serves as the main seat of power for the Saudi king. She is also believed to have access to Urga Palace, another major royal compound in Riyadh where dignitaries are often received. These palaces are protected by some of the most advanced security systems in the world and staffed by hundreds, if not thousands, of aides and workers. Though there are no public photos of Queen Fada traveling, the Saudi royal family owns a fleet of private aircraft through the Royal Flight, which is essentially the kingdom's VIP airline. This includes modified Boeing 747s and Airbus A340s, equipped with private bedrooms, lounges, and state-of-the-art technology. Members of the royal family, including Queen Fada, reportedly use these aircraft for both domestic and international travel. One reason so little is known about Queen Fada's daily life is because of how strictly the House of Saud protects its royal women, especially those as strategically positioned as she is. According to reports from various diplomatic sources, Queen Fada was even kept out of the public eye for years under King Abdullah's reign, allegedly due to palace politics. However, this changed under her son's rise to power. When Mohammed bin Salman became crown prince in 2017, Queen Fada's public presence remained minimal, but her proximity to the decision-maker of the kingdom became undeniable. While she doesn't make speeches or appear on television, her influence is felt through the people she raised, particularly MBS, who now controls the Public Investment Fund, oversees Vision 2030, and holds de facto control of the Saudi economy, military, and oil policy. It's important to note that Saudi Arabia does not formally recognize the title of Queen. Fada is not referred to in official documents as Queen Fada. However, in Western media and diplomatic circles, she's often described this way due to her unique position in the royal hierarchy. Despite her unofficial title, Queen Fada's personal wealth is tied directly to the vast royal fortune. The House of Saud is worth an estimated $1.4 trillion, and while there are no public breakdowns of how wealth is distributed among family members, royal insiders suggest that King Salman's immediate family, including Fada, enjoy unrestricted access to the benefits of royal life because, well, it's their family's wealth. But it's not just Fada who's shaking the core of Saudi Arabia. There are other women just as powerful, just as influential, and in some cases even more globally recognized. Saudi Arabia's billionaire queens are not staying behind palace walls anymore. They're making international deals, running major foundations, and walking into rooms once reserved for kings. Let's begin with a woman who knows royalty from the inside, but chose to make her own name in the world, Princess Amira al-Tawil. She's not your typical Saudi princess, and that's exactly what made the world pay attention. Princess Amira al-Tawil first stepped onto the world stage as the wife of Saudi billionaire investor Prince al-Walid bin Talal, a man once ranked among the richest in the world, with a net worth that peaked near $39 billion. By marriage, she gained status, but what came next was all her. After her high-profile divorce in 2013, most expected her to fade into the background. Instead, she did the opposite, becoming one of the most outspoken and respected Saudi women internationally. She co-founded Al-Walid Philanthropies, helping to funnel billions into causes like women's education, global disaster relief, and cross-cultural understanding. Currently, she is the founder and CEO of Time Agency. She sat on international boards, was featured on CNN, Oprah, The Huffington Post, and spoke at the Clinton Global Initiative. Her advocacy work spans over 70 countries. In Saudi Arabia, where women's public roles have historically been restricted, Amira became a symbol of modern Arab feminism. A woman in abayas and Valentino heels, talking boldly about reform, travel, and lifting the ban on female drivers years before the government finally did it in 2018. Her personal wealth might not be splashed across Forbes pages, but through investments, philanthropy connections, and family wealth, her estimate net worth ranges from $500 million to $1 billion. But unlike many, she's not just sitting on it, she's strategic, investing in long-term change. These days, she lives a relatively private life with her second husband, Khalifa bin Bouti al-Muhairi, an Emirati billionaire in his own right. But Amira isn't out of the game. She just moved into quieter forms of influence, the kind where she doesn't need a title to be powerful. Now, if Princess Amira is the face of global advocacy, then Lubna Olean is the boardroom queen who helped redefine Saudi Arabia's private sector. Lubna is not royal. She built her power through sharp business acumen and a name that became synonymous with corporate leadership in the Middle East. She was born into the influential Olean family, but what she did with that legacy is absolutely unmatched. She made history as the first Saudi woman to ever give a keynote at a major mixed-gender business conference in the kingdom. For over 30 years, she led Olean Financing Company, which controls the Saudi side of an empire worth tens of billions. The Olean Group has interests in everything from finance to real estate, fast food to pharmaceuticals, and she personally oversaw more than 40 companies operating under that umbrella. In 2019, she became the first woman to chair a Saudi bank, taking the helm of Saudi British Bank after it merged with HSBC's operations in the country. While the Olean family's wealth is estimated at over $10 billion, Lubna herself is rumored to command a personal fortune, though exact numbers remain tightly controlled due to the private nature of the family business. But her impact goes beyond money. Lubna has become a symbol of credibility, trust, and transformation. Proof that Saudi women are indeed running the economy. Princess Rima bint Bandar is the granddaughter of King Faisal and daughter of Prince Bandar bin Sultan, the longtime Saudi ambassador to the U.S., and in 2019, she made history herself when she was appointed as Saudi Arabia's first female ambassador to the United States. Yes, the face of Saudi diplomacy in Washington is a woman. But let's not box her into just politics. Princess Rima's background is a mix of business, activism, sports, and cultural diplomacy. Before her ambassadorship, she was a major player in the Saudi private sector, especially in the retail and lifestyle industries. She was the CEO of Alpha International and Harvey Nichols Riyadh, where she spearheaded projects focused on female employment and inclusion, long before it was mainstream in the kingdom. She's also a strong advocate for women's rights, pushing for laws against domestic violence and championing women's participation in sports. She even held a top position at the Saudi General Sports Authority, working to promote female athletes in a deeply traditional country. While she's royalty and undoubtedly from a family of significant wealth, Princess Rima has carved out her own identity, her own resume, and her own spotlight. She's become an architect of Saudi Arabia's new image abroad. She's often described as one of the most progressive royals in the kingdom, balancing diplomacy with modern ideals and setting a precedent for what female leadership looks like in a country that, just a decade ago, wouldn't let women drive. Maudi Al-Jamia may not come from royalty, but she's royalty in Saudi Arabia's tech and innovation world. As the chief tech officer at Saudi Telecom Company, she has become one of the most prominent women driving the digital transformation of the kingdom. She earned her PhD in computer science from the University of London and went on to lead STC Academy, one of the country's leading institutions for tech talent and innovation. Under her leadership, the Academy has trained thousands of young Saudis in AI, cybersecurity, and 5G technologies, aligning perfectly with the country's Vision 2030 goals. Maudi sits at the intersection of education, business, and high-level strategy. Her influence has brought her recognition on the Forbes Middle East list of the most powerful women, and she is considered a key figure in shaping the future workforce of Saudi Arabia. While she isn't a billionaire in the traditional sense, her impact and access to tech capital make her one of the most powerful Saudi women influencing billion-dollar decisions. Haifa al-Moghren isn't flashing diamonds or running massive companies, but she's influencing policies and conversations on a global level. Currently, Saudi Arabia's permanent delegate to UNESCO, Haifa is one of the kingdom's most recognized female diplomats. Before her UNESCO role, she served as the Deputy Minister for Sustainable Development Affairs at the Ministry of Economy and Planning. Basically, when it comes to aligning Saudi Arabia's progress with global sustainability goals, Haifa has been at the center of it all. She's known for representing Saudi's modern image abroad, pushing for culture, heritage preservation, and women's rights within a deeply traditional framework. She actively negotiates and collaborates with global powers to place Saudi voices on world stages. Haifa isn't a billionaire either, but her influence touches billion-dollar agendas, from education and tech to sustainable tourism and cultural diplomacy. Now, this is a name that makes financial headlines. Sarah Al-Suhaimi is the first woman to chair the Saudi stock exchange, Tadawul, the largest stock market in the Middle East. That alone makes her one of the most financially powerful women in the region. She's actually one of the people shaping the rules of the game for investors, companies, and billion-dollar IPOs. Before that, she was the CEO of NCB Capital, one of the top investment firms in the kingdom, where she led asset management, advisory, and brokerage services. She managed portfolios worth billions and gained a reputation for being strategic, efficient, and razor-sharp in a space where very few women even had a seat at the table. Sarah played a central role in preparing Saudi Arabia's market for massive listings like Aramco's historic IPO, and her leadership has helped attract international investors to the country's economy. Her personal net worth isn't public, but with her positions and the capital she oversees, she's comfortably in the high-powered, high-net-worth circle of Saudi Arabia. Rania Nashar made history when she became the first female CEO of a commercial bank in Saudi Arabia, Samba Financial Group, one of the country's biggest and most respected banks. This was a seismic shift in a country where banking and finance had long been male-only territory at the top. Rania worked her way up through Samba for over 20 years, holding key roles in risk management, compliance, and banking operations. When she finally took the CEO seat in 2017, she was steering a bank with assets exceeding $60 billion. Later, she was appointed as a senior advisor at the Public Investment Fund, Saudi Arabia's massive $700 billion+ sovereign wealth fund. That means she's been directly involved in the biggest deals and diversification projects happening under Vision 2030. Though her personal net worth isn't publicly known, her influence and the size of the institutions she's helped run easily place her in the multimillionaire elite class of Saudi Arabia, with a voice that carries across global finance networks. And there you have it, a look inside the world of Saudi Arabia's most powerful women. A glimpse into the rise of a new class of female power, one that's quieter, sharper, and impossible to ignore. Because in a place where men have long ruled the narrative, these women are now writing entire chapters, and the world is watching. So, which of these powerful women surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more stories of power, wealth, and legacy, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon. And we'll see you in the next one.